So the purpose of the panel discussion is just to understand more about the journey of an online learner, build community, um, actually reflect, respond, be proactive, add value to our offerings. One song that you'll hear me play often, one of my favorite songs, is "We Are One." Aggies are everywhere, so I just put a little screenshot here to show you just over the last few months, from November to February, how did people hear about the online learning? Most of them went to seek out the information themselves. That's straight through the website. We have other categories which weren't determined. A lot of people said they learned from their family, their friend, or coworker, or they're a former student. So we reach out to people through different means. What a lot of people don't know is 75% of online learners are within 75 miles of the campus. So you'll see research done by Gray Associates that shows that, and there's close to 10% over 500 miles from the campus. So this just gives you an idea of where the Aggies are coming from. Now we have a panel today, and I've met a lot of these people a few weeks ago, and I found out we had some Midwest connections and a lot of some military connections, industry connections, connections all around. So definitely would tap into their experiences and knowledge as we move forward. And I'm glad you all are here to share your experience. We have Kelsey Blue, working for one of the top companies to work for, JP Morgan Chase out of Dallas, Texas, a junior in business information technology. Sid Bynum, soon to be graduating senior in interdisciplinary studies, working right here in Greensboro at North Carolina A&T State University. Kenneth Williams Jr., not only is he an author, but he works for the Department of Defense, coming to us as an alumni and coming back again, right? And Torian Walston over in the Raleigh area, returning student, working as an insurance counselor in the funeral industry. Rhonda Sekou Creighton, first year in the PhD Leadership Study Program. And I heard you've been doing a lot of great things over there just this first year. So he's a Chief Diversity Officer and Principal Consultant for his company in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, I'm going to stop sharing screens, and I'll introduce to you my co-host. Let's see what we can do. Let's put him on the podium. Okay, there he is. I'm gonna do the host thing, and I'm gonna put together a little intro. So you all work with him, Mr. Tyrone James, a native of Brooklyn, New York, and right now also known as Professor Blackfoot Doggone Moore. He works as a part-time instructor and academic advisor within the Department of Psychology. And since 2015, Mr. James has been an active member of the department, serving as the new student summer coordinator for orientation, the co-advisor to the Association of Black Psychologists Student Club at A&T, and the founder and coordinator of the Psychology Leadership Initiative. He became the online course developer and subject matter expert in 2020. As it relates to his teaching philosophy, Mr. James said that each one must teach one. So he's committed to lowering the student anxiety in online spaces and finds that interjecting humor and timely responses helps. He has lots of good ideas. He's in the psychology department, so we brought him along just to add to the discussion. Well, let's do this. I want to just do something. You see these tools here on the side if you're on the app. We're going to start off first by using these new tools. So I'm going to try a poll. Please, only the online panelists answer the question. We're going to just do this in real time. So let's first question is going to say, how important is the following to your success as an online learner? Having channels available for providing timely responses to student complaints.
That sounds based
on the responses. Everyone, as I'm sure everyone can see who can see it, having channels available for providing timely responses to student complaints is very important.
Yes, that's me.
So everyone agrees to that.
Yeah, I'd also like to add that having timely and accurate responses would be extremely helpful.
Very good. That's good information. I'm going to put a few more questions up just so we can have a visual. Maybe the second one will work for you. How about a faculty that provides timely feedback about progress in the course?
Absolutely. That's been a pain point. Yeah, that's definitely been a pain point for me this semester.
All right. So of the responses we see, that's very important. And we're going to talk about all of this. Thank you for the responses. And thank you for trying this new software out with me. How about program advisors who help you work towards your career goals?
I could see that being beneficial.
Is it very important, somewhat important, neutral?
I would definitely say very important. My advisor has been instrumental, so definitely.
Well, for me, I think I'm in a different place in my life. I've had conversations with my current advisor about my future, plans. But my mindset basically was to finish what I started so many years ago. So the current goal was just to finish my curriculum. And so I didn't jump out to say, hey, I'd like to do this in the future. Like that wasn't a main priority for me. So right now, for me, my suggestion, my answer would be neutral.
And that is kind of what I would have expected, because when you're dealing with adult learners, you might already be in your career, and you're only maybe looking towards enhancing or just adding some skills. So I completely understand that. All right. Another thing to think about here is, let us know what you think about how important the convenience of the registration process is. Is that very important?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And it could be a deterrent. How easy, like if it's the other side of that is, it for an adult learner, it's hard for them to even want to come back to school, because oftentimes you have to embrace a lot of things that you hadn't completed previously. So it's a lot of self-development, or when you're looking, you have to take a lot of things in. So the mere fact of going into a school, and if it's, a hard process, that may be a deterrent as far as them getting started right away and things of that nature. So that's something else to think about.
Thank you for sharing. We're going to do two more, and then we'll actually get into the panel discussion. All right, how important is the availability of online career services?
Not as important.
Yeah, I'm neutral for that one as well.
Yeah, definitely neutral there.
Okay, so we hear responses all across the board. It's a good resource to have, but most of you are already career focus in your careers. But please understand that there are tons of resources that still can enhance what it is that your goal.
That's a good point. What do we even mean by career services and how that's interpreted? So this would be good.
All right. And last question for poll service is the awareness of whom to contact for questions about programs and services.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of fact finding in that area. So I think it's extremely important to have that information, easily accessible.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, to have people readily available or to make the resources user friendly, whether you're contacting someone by phone or having to go through the web, being able to navigate and to find resources, helpful resources is very important.
I agree.
All right. Well, thank you all for sharing. So everyone on the line, as I told the panel, I said, please share openly. If any of your professors are on here, give them some extra credit. I'm trying to get you some. No, I'm just playing. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually just be open-ended. Feel free to share who you are, your story, or anything else. I'll ask the first question. So the first question is, can you share examples of positive experiences you've had with support services or faculty interaction? Feel free to raise your hand or just talk and we'll highlight you. Who wants to go?
I can start off with that, Thomas.
All right.
So, I think that each of us are going to have very different experiences depending on what level you're coming in to A&T, whether that's as an undergrad, whether that's as a grad student, and even as a grad student, it's going to be different, master's versus PhD. So for myself, being a doctoral student, just being able to have access to professors also based on when I've got availability, not just on traditional office hours, has been important. In my job, I travel quite a bit. And so it's always good to know that I've been able to email professors or email my department chair and set up time to be able to meet with those individuals based on needs that I have in a class or questions, or if I've actually missed, a live session and haven't had a chance to watch the recording because it may not be available. And so for me, all of those were important things, knowing that the faculty has had experience in an online environment, because as many of you have experienced in the everyday workplace, doing this live in person is very different from doing it in a Zoom, Google Meets, Blue Jeans, you name the environment, in video conferencing. So, I've appreciated with the professors and the department folks that I've had, that everyone has been readily available and made themselves available even outside of normal hours to be able to answer any questions or concerns that I've had.
I appreciate that answer. Anyone else want to, while you have the mic, Rhonda, you want to tell us about your connection to A&T?
Yeah, so I'm similar a little bit to Sid in that I'm not coming back to finish up a degree that I started, but I came to A&T 30 something years ago as an incoming freshman and got gobbled up by, we didn't call it GHO at the time. So to be able to come back and get my last degree from A&T is really something that I value. I also have my youngest child is a freshman, first year. See, we got to change language. First year student in the honors college at A&T. So, it's kind of been special to go through this experience with her being there in Greensboro. No, I don't pop in on her because I remember what my freshman year was like. And the last thing I wanted was my parents showing up unannounced. So I give her space. But it's been good to be able to have this experience being an Aggie together.
Awesome, thank you. I think I saw a hand raised. Who else wanted to share? Any examples of positive experiences you've had with support services or faculty interaction?
Yeah, so just to be short, while I was receiving my or going through the program, getting my master's in information technology, I got to say that the one-on-one experience that I had with the staff was a really great thing, and I got to really say that helped me along the way, and it made the transition a lot easier for me having that support and readily available when needed. So I'm really grateful because I've been to previous universities. I graduated from Troy. I love Troy, but I got to say it wasn't the same experience. So that really means a lot when the staff and the faculty show that they care, and when you need them most, they're available for you. And so it was challenging, but they made it a little bit easier, and I graduated, and I'm actually getting ready to come back to go after that MBA. So
You gonna do the MBA online?
yeah, I'm gonna do the MBA online. So I got the master's from North Carolina A&T, and now I'm getting ready to come back to get the MBA. And I wouldn't have chose any other school simply because of the support I got when I was there from the staff and faculty. So.
All right, thank you. While you're on the podium, you want to talk to us about your book or anything else while you have it?
Well, I told you guys I have another book coming out. This will be my fourth book, but my third children's book. So that's getting ready to debut. It's titled "The Seed of Every Fruit," and I'll definitely be getting Dr. Amakawati a copy, and whoever else would want a copy. You can also Google me, Kenneth E. Williams, and author will be under my name. I come up. I'm also on Instagram. And so my tag name, I guess, on Instagram is KENNWILLJR. So Ken Will Jr. But yeah. So that's a separate conversation. But aside from school and my tech career with the Department of Defense, I'm publishing more books, and I currently getting ready to start my own publishing company. So I'm getting that off the ground now.
I just wanted to add that because Aggies are doing a little bit everything everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelsey, looks like you had your hand up.
First off, congratulations, Kenneth. Huge accomplishments and best wishes to you. I just wanted to chime in and express some positive, feedback in regards to I guess he's the chancellor, I'm not sure, Dr. PC and my advisor, Kelly or Stephanie Kelly, I believe. Both of them were, essential in helping me get back on task, when I did experience some of those roadblocks. Dr. PC came in and actually saved the day and got me on task with, registering for classes, or the correct classes, should I say, and not letting me bite off more than I could chew with this being my first semester back after 27 years. So, I too, like said, I'm coming back to finish something that I started, many moons ago. And while my daughter has obtained her undergrad and master's, here's mom, just now returning to school to obtain her bachelor's. So Dr. PC and Stephanie had, really kind of helped reel me in, because I was feeling very discouraged at one point, because the registration process and the financial aid, both, are crucial pieces to, the academic process. So it was, a little disturbing, but they did come in and really help me get back on task and, register for the right classes, provide me with the tools that I needed to essentially know where I stood as far as my transfer equivalency, and where I needed, how much I had left, because that was, one of the main sources of contention for me. It was like, okay, I need to understand exactly what classes are going to transfer and what I'm looking at from a time perspective, right? Because I'm old and I didn't want to spend too much time trying to complete an undergrad. So they were very helpful in helping me understand and pace myself, so I wouldn't, be overwhelmed. So definitely shout out to both of those too.
All right. Thank you for sharing. I'm not gonna say that you're old, so don't say that.
I feel it. Thank you, though.
All right, I'm gonna go to Torian next.
All right. Yes. I want to say that it's always a good thing to interact with a lot of the staff, faculty at A&T. I can say for myself, even in the process, Dr. A and even Dr. Marissa Dick in particular, and some others. Not only those, but there's something with being a former student at A&T on campus. You learn that it is a family environment, and so you always have those interacting with you, sharing advice and this and that. So I want to highlight that even not just your regular schoolwork, studies, issues with registration, this or that, or those type of concerns, you actually develop relationship with the things that's going on in your life. And so that's what I always love about the Aggie experience. And so coming back to finish something that I started years ago is no different than when I was actually on campus. About 2 years ago, one of my nieces graduated. I had two nieces graduate the same day. And my brother couldn't be at both graduations. So I said, well, I'm going to A&T. You go to the other one. I'll be home. That's how I kind of said it. And I was able to see Dr. Sam Mosley. He used to be the chair of the poli-sci department. He's like, Torian, all this kind of stuff. And so I can say now that even in being in this space, I'm having the same experience that I did with professors, instructors, other staff, the same way I would if I was on campus. So that's actually a good thing.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you for sharing. And Sid, looks like you have your hand up. We're gonna go to you next, and then we'll get into the last few questions, and we'll also have a Q&A session at the end.
Okay. I forgot what we're talking about mainly. Are we just giving a synopsis of our situation, or what are we doing?
Positive feedback.
We're just talking about any positive experiences.
Oh.
For example, if you have support services or faculty
Yes.
interaction.
Absolutely, I do. And one, I think she's on here, Miss Jacobs, Corliss Jacobs, and Dr. Marissa Dix were my lifelines. And in fact, I think they'll always be my lifelines. Both of them have been outstanding with just getting me back on track. Miss Corliss has a way of saying, okay, are you all right? That kind of thing. And it kind of snaps you back. So no matter what's going on, she's pretty awesome. And my mother always says that you give people their flowers while they can smell them. And if she's on here, I appreciate you. I applaud your efforts. My son went through the same program and he graduated during COVID as an engineering student. So she's meant a lot to our family. And she might not know, but we're definitely grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you for sharing.
Very much.
All right, Mr. James, you want to add anything?
I'm I'm here taking my notes. I'm hearing a lot of different good things, and it sounds like all of our students, they have some type of affiliation with the university already, so that's good. So you already know about how Aggies do and what we do. So it's just good to hear these things coming from the students and the experience that we provided for you all. So I got a few more notes too, but I'll wait till we get towards the end and talk about some of those things.
All right, great. So these next few questions, we'll just ask for maybe 2 respondents. So the next question is, have you encountered any challenges with registration processes or accessing support services? If so, how were they addressed?
I have to honestly say I didn't experience any of that, and I'm being honest and transparent. When I needed support with anything that I needed pertaining to classes, registration, it was there. I had no issues navigating through the site or getting in contact with the proper staff that was specialized in whatever issue I was having. So I can't speak for anyone else, but when I was going through the graduate program, no, I didn't experience any difficulty there.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Kelsey?
I didn't experience any issues navigating, the actual registration process. It was really more so to deal with, identifying which courses to take. Like I said, there were some snags in the process with my transfer equivalency, some errors that were made. So I wasn't really sure, what, I should take. So it had more to do with that. And the only other thing that I wanted to express concern about is the class limitations, like the amount of hours that you can take. That was probably my other concern, especially as a student learner. It's kind of like we mentioned before, it's more about completing the curriculum, right, at a pace that is digestible for us. So I was really disappointed to see that there was a cap about how many credit hours that you could take specifically for summer, because that's when I have more bandwidth. But the registration process in itself, it was pretty seamless for me. It was just the snags to understand, which classes to take and when, and understanding your prerequisites. A lot of the information that is available on the website is dated. And so that presented some issues in itself as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Like I said, the more information you can provide us, and just be real, we're all in house, we're all Aggies. So please let us know. Moving to the podium is Mr. Craig.
Kelsey, I was going to ask a question for our online learners. What is the maximum amount of hours that you can take for the summer?
The maximum amount is, I believe, 14. It's
14.
Yes, is it 14? Okay, yes, it's 14. So basically 4 classes for the summer.
2 each summer session.
Yeah, 2 for each summer. Yes, that's correct. And, and then there are limitations. So, I do have I did register for 4 classes. However, I have 2 other credits that I could take, but there's no offerings that I could actually take to meet that max. So that was another disappointing, factor to trying to gain more momentum in the summer. So just thought I would share that, but definitely I escalated to see if I could get an exception. And with me being a return student and not having, any measurable performance metrics, it was immediately turned down. But, I'm hoping that, I can get an exception for the fall, perhaps. But, we'll see.
Okay, I don't want you to be disappointed. I think it's the summer months is condensed, so those 7 hours is supposed to be associated with how much time you spend in the actual class with your studies. So anything, 7. I've seen students get the approval for 7, and talk with your department chair or whatnot. But I don't want you to be disappointed by that. Or do we need to change the way we think about what we have been, I guess, programmed to do. If the students want to do more hours and they have the bandwidth, like you said, then perhaps we should allow you to. But it's all about the success of how you
Absolutely.
perform in the classes.
Absolutely. And I totally agree, which is why I didn't put up much of a fight. But I told Dr. PC he would be hearing from me after they received my grades for this semester. So I do plan to request an exception for at least the fall. It's just in the summer months. My job is less busy because most of my stakeholders are, taking those family vacations. And I just wanted to kind of capitalize on that. But I anticipate doing the same for the fall. With that, at least I'll have, a frame of reference for the chair to actually review and consider. I'll have the spring and summer grades on record. So hopefully, because I'm trying to target next May as a graduation. I know it's pretty aggressive, but 80 hours transferred, and about 72 of those were all towards my academic program. So I'm just anxious, and, looking forward to it. So of course I'm trying to, get ahead as much as I can, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, good.
All right, Mr. Creighton.